Build your success with DoorDash and WoodGreen. Welcome to Financial Foundations, a video series to help you learn some financial basics and feel more in control with your money. Let's get started. In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most essential tools for managing your money effectively, the budget. A budget not only helps us track our spending, but also empowers us to take control of our financial future. So, what is a budget? A budget is a way to track spending on a month-to-month basis and plan for annual expenses. It's a summary of how much money that comes in, which is your income, and how much money that goes out, which are your expenses. There are 4 steps you should take when creating a budget. We will go through each step one at a time. Step 1. Identify your average income. The first step in creating an effective budget, especially when you have a fluctuating income, is to identify your average income. Think of it as your baseline, allowing you to plan your finances more easily. To calculate your average monthly income, add up all your income sources over the past 6 to 12 months and divide it by the number of months. This gives you a realistic picture of what you can expect to earn each month. Once you have this amount, you should compare it to your lowest earning month and think about the gap between the average and your lowest earning months. It's way better to start low than to start with an average that might be higher than typical. If you budget low, it will just mean if you earn more, you'll have some room for savings or extra money in your pocket for spending. But averaging high and having to backtrack later can cause more harm than good to your money management goals. You can always tweak your budget in the future if it financially makes sense. Step 2. Identify your expenses. Now that we know our average income, it's time to identify our expenses. Expenses can be divided into 2 types, fixed and variable. Fixed expenses like rent, utilities, and internet bills tend to stay the same month to month. Variable expenses such as food and entertainment fluctuate. To make it easier to track your expenses, it's best to break them down into categories. Let's take a look at some examples. Housing, rent or mortgage payments, utilities, internet, and insurance. Transportation, public transit, car payments, gas and parking. Living, food, household supplies, clothing, medical expenses, and childcare. Personal, dining out, subscriptions, entertainment, and recreational activities. Savings and debt, credit cards, loans, student loans, and saving contributions. Remember, every item you spend money on should have a corresponding category to account for it. Step 3. Do the math. Now that we have our income and expenses, it's time to do the math. Subtract your total monthly expenses from your total monthly income to see the outcome of your budget. This will give you 3 potential outcomes. 1. You may have a surplus. This is when more money comes in than goes out. 2. Or you could find yourself in a deficit. This is when more money went out for expenses than money that came in as income. This is also called overspending. If it occurs regularly, it can leave you in debt or using up your savings. If you find yourself in this situation, it's important to think of ways that you could increase your income or cut costs. 3. Finally, your budget might be balanced, which is when the amount of money going in and out is equal. For app-based workers or anyone with fluctuating income, it's crucial to know your bare-bones budget in the event you have a lower monthly income or something else impacts your usual budgeting priorities. A bare-bones budget covers only the essentials: housing, utilities, food, phone, minimum debt repayments, and personal care. While it may not leave room for extras, it can be a valuable go-to during financial crises when there is a change in your life, and emergency savings are limited. Step 4. Review and revise. No matter the outcome of your budget, it's essential to regularly review and revise it. Use this information to create a spending plan for future months, focusing on your needs first and then your wants within your budget's limit. It's also the perfect time to set money goals. Take a moment to reflect on your spending habits. Are you allocating your money towards needs and wants effectively? Remember, there's nothing wrong with treating yourself as long as it aligns with your budget. Additionally, explore opportunities to cut back on spending or find ways to increase your income. Building your budget is just the beginning. The real power lies in regularly tracking your expenses. In our next video, we'll dive into the importance of expense tracking.